We move on now, and the Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has unveiled the Union Budget for 2026 to 27 with a strong focus on infrastructure development, fiscal prudence and tax reforms. Key highlights include an increase in capital expenditure to 12.2 lakh crore rupees, up from 11.2 lakh crore, aimed at driving infrastructure and attracting private investment. Their fiscal deficit has been reduced to 4.3% of GDP, with a long-term target of 50+1% by 2030. The new Income Tax Act 2025 will come into effect in April of 2026, simplifying tax rules and forms to reduce compliance burdens and increase disposable income for the middle class. Additionally, basic customs duties on 17 essential medicines, including cancer treatments, will be exempt, making healthcare more affordable. To boost India's semiconductor industry, the government has allocated 40,000 crore rupees for the India Semiconductor Mission 2.0, which will focus on R&D and chip manufacturing. Moreover, the establishment of rare earth corridors in key states like Odisha and Tamil Nadu will reduce reliance on imported minerals and strengthen domestic supply chains. To promote clean energy, customs duty exemptions for lithium-ion batteries have been extended, lowering costs for electric vehicles and renewable energy. The government has also proposed 7 high-speed rail corridors between major cities aimed at stimulating economic growth. Furthermore, 20,000 rupees crore will be allocated to carbon capture and storage, advancing India's net zero goals. Finally, the budget includes initiatives to promote digital creativity, with AVGC content creator labs to be set up in schools and colleges, fostering India's orange economy. A huge development today, of course, India's budget for the coming fiscal year, where the Indian Finance Minister has unveiled it for the 2026-2027 fiscal years, with a strong focus on infrastructure development, fiscal prudence and tax reforms. Key highlights include an increase in capital expenditure aimed at driving infrastructure and attracting private investment from foreign countries. A new income tax will come into effect in April of 2026, simplifying tax rules and forms to reduce compliance burdens and increase disposable income for the middle class. Additionally, basic customs duties on 17 essential medicines, including cancer treatments, will be exempt, making healthcare more affordable for the Indian public. To boost India's semiconductor industry, the government has allocated a significant amount of money to that industry to help the domestic semiconductor mission. The establishment of rare earth corridors in key states like Odisha and Tamil Nadu will reduce reliance on imported minerals and strengthen domestic supply chains. Furthermore, to promote clean energy, customs duty exemptions for lithium-ion batteries, they've been extended, lowering costs for electric vehicles and renewable energy. The government has also proposed 7 high-speed rail corridors between major cities, advancing India's net zero goals. And finally, the budget includes initiatives to promote digital creativity, with AVGC content creator labs to be set up in schools and colleges, fostering India's orange economy. So a huge day for India today. It will see what the budget is for the next fiscal year, starting in April, of course. So with a huge emphasis on infrastructure development, fiscal prudence and tax reforms across many sectors. We are hopefully going to be joined by a guest to discuss this in just a second. This is the 7th consecutive budget presented by Nirmala Sitharaman. It continues a familiar pattern: high public investment, controlled deficit and structural reform rather than big welfare splurges. The government is clearly signalling that India wants to remain the world's fastest growing major economy. Macro stability matters more than short-term populism, and manufacturing and strategic autonomy are national priorities. No dramatic gateways, no tax shocks here. This is a stability budget going into April once again. Now, CAPEX now equals 3.4% of GDP, among the highest ratios India has ever maintained. The money will mainly go to roads, highways, expressways, railways, high-speed rail, urban metro systems, ports and logistics parks, and defence production infrastructure. Joining us now to discuss this is M.K. Agarwal, a senior economist, joining us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much for joining us here on NewsX World. It's certainly a pleasure to have you on the programme. What are your thoughts on this new budget? Of course, the Finance Secretary's 7th budget presented. What are the shortcomings? What are the pros? And how will investors be looking at this?
Oh, well, I believe that first, let's see its major strengths that are there. And first is that despite so many other geopolitical tensions and global economic instabilities, India has been maintaining its upward trend in terms of its finances and its initiatives for infra development as well as for inclusive and sustainable development, taking care of the climate and environment. So I believe that they are pushing the new sectors. For example, they are pushing the AI sector like anything. And AI is not only for the elite sectors of the economy, rather they are being used for the MSME sector as well as the farm sector. So with regard to shortcomings, there are always shortcomings in a single budget because in India, the budget is presented annually, unlike in many other countries where annual presentation is not there. So what I find that it is a one step forward, and it is a type of linking the earlier and having the larger perspective of 2047 vision for developed India. And here let me underline the fact that whatever we are having in our mindset that what type of developed country it should be, definitely it is not going to be the type of American economy. We are going to be inclusive, self-sustaining, Swadeshi, that is enriching our own forces and deriving from our own strengths for our own welfare as well as for global south and other countries. We believe in cooperative federalism within country because we are a federal structure country, along with having a cooperation with other countries around the world that we have demonstrated during Corona period when we supplied vaccine to more than 100 countries. Similarly, we provided food grains to more than 100 countries. With regard to shortcomings, definitely there are shortcomings in the sense that we cannot provide funds to each and every sector in one go. That's why we are maintaining a type of gradualism, but this gradualism is also blended with big push efforts. For example, if we are pushing for the tourism, we are having a different type of tourism. If we are pushing for the MSME, we are linking the MSME with the global trade. For example, we had FTA with EU only this week, and there the role of MSME sector is quite strong. But what we require that the manpower is further skilled, further trained, and they are also fit for the new emerging sector in Indian economy, that is orange economy, and huge investment is going on there since last year 2025. So I believe the manpower skilling is a very critical area that we require, and that's why 5 major universities are to be established sooner as per the budget 26-27 presented by this Modi government. That will provide, you can say, skilled manpower suitable for industrial development as a workforce along with as an entrepreneur both. So I find that there are shortcomings, no doubt, but these shortcomings are being capitalized by India. For example, we were having some poorer states or laggard states. Now they are transformed like any, for example, Uttar Pradesh is coming fast forward. Jharkhand that went to Davos this time and got a good MOU in terms of investments. So similarly, whatever have been our weaker states earlier, they were, you can say, aspirational states. So now they are also transforming themselves and they are being converted into the new growth engine of the Indian economy. So that's the basic economics, and we are practicing that here. And tax rates are definitely going quite low. And it is a historic low in Indian economy when GST tax rates were brought down last year 2025 towards the end of 2025, and it is giving us a lot of you can say drive to grow further, although there has been some reduced revenue mobilization, but more than that it is being compensated by increased domestic demand in the Indian economy by the consumers. So I believe that both are fitting into each other, they are complementary to each other, and weaknesses are being converted into the growth momentum.
MK Agarwal, thank you very much for that brilliant explanation. It was a pleasure to have you here on the broadcast to